Ooh, that is hella bright. Good morning, Zenkaikon. How are you today? Welcome to the 2024 Zenkaikon Voice Actor Panel. You guys ready to meet our guests and have some very funny reads today? Do you guys have some great questions for our panel today? We only just want to make like one suggestion when we get to that part of the Q&A. Try to keep your questions for the whole panel. If you have a specific question you'd like to ask a specific actor, go visit their panel and ask it for them there. All right, coming up first to the stage, a veteran of stage and film for 20 years, she is known for Becky at Eden Academy, Chise, Moada, Rhyme, Aharon, Nilo, Timera, and many more. Please welcome Dani Chambers. Oh. Yes.
Hi. Oh. Hi, everybody. Hello. Oh, it's so bright.
I wasn't joking with that. What's that? Now we're happy to welcome not one, but two more amazing guests to the stage. Legendary actor-director Richard Epcar, Game Pure's Voice Actor of the Year, and actor-director-writer Ellyn Stern. Richard is one of the hardest working men in show business and has voiced over 1,200 characters in games, animation, and anime. He is well known as Batou, Jigen, Raiden, the Joker, Ansem, and many more. Ellyn Stern has been the star of many stage productions, Academy Award-winning film roles, and is well known for her voice work in animation, game, and films with hundreds of titles, including Street Fighter VI, Belle, Lupin the Third, Bleach, Ghost in the Shell, and many more. Please welcome Richard and Ellyn.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay, goodbye.
In animation, you've heard him in the roles including Kaido, Gorilla Grodd, Drax, Apeling in Battle Trap, Upgrade in Vin Ethanol, Lord Tiger, including Volibear and the Black Knight, Lobo, Dr. Fate, and many more. Please give it up for David Sobolov.
Hello.
And last but certainly not least, a scriptwriter and ADR co-director of Bleach. He's also been in over 200 voiceover productions for anime alone, not to mention video games, Western animation, and other products. You've heard him as Shadow, Jean, Hotohori, Gabumon, the Holy Trilogy of Batman, Superman, and Jesus, and many, many more. Please welcome to the stage, Kirk Thornton.
Now go jump off the stage.
I'm just messing with you. Sorry, it worked. Yeah, I'm going to jump off the stage. I'm doing my reads down there.
You do a wave.
All right, so we're going to get started with some readings from our lovely voice actors doing some of their famous roles. All right, reading number one. This is Across the Spider-Verse with Dani and Richard.
Oh, which one is that? Oh, here we go.
For Gwen, we have Dani as Becky Blackbell.
That's going to be fun.
For the Vulture, we have Richard as the Joker. And for Miguel, we have Richard as Ansem. Scene
sense.
one. This universe's resident Spider-Person narrates the opening. That's how all these movies start, right?
No.
Let's do things differently this time. So differently. His name is Miles Morales. He was bitten by a radioactive spider, and he's not the only one. He hasn't always had it easy, and he's not the only one. And now he's on his own. You think you know the rest. You don't. I thought I knew the rest, but I didn't. I didn't want to hurt him, but I did. Oh, that's me. I always wanted to be in a band. Guess I never found the right one. In this line of work, you always wind up as a solo act, but you can't outrun a memory.
I am the vulture, the pinnacle of man's genius.
You're not my vulture. What are you, made of parchment?
What cursed world have you brought me to?
You're glitching, huh? Been there. Where you from, bud?
I am an artiste, an engineer.
Oh, great. A Renaissance man. Let me guess. You were having an espresso in some old-timey Leonardo da Vinci dimension, and suddenly a portal opens up and you wind here? Am I warm?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sidebar. Maybe you could stop making a mess of the art museum for no reason?
You call this art?
We're talking... We're talking about it, aren't we? I mean, it's more of a metro commentary on what we call art, but it's also art.
Vulture opens his mechanical beak to reveal a flamethrower. Starts shooting out flames.
I wouldn't play with fire, dude. You're kind of made of paper.
Ciao, Regizio.
Oh, this is such a stupid way to die.
A hard light laser web lassos Vulture's arm. A hexagonal portal appears in the room where laser web is projecting from. There's a blinding light show just before Miguel body slams Vulture across the room, freeing Gwen from the Birdman's grip. Gwen swings over for a closer look. Miguel is cool and seemingly in control.
I'm sorry, who exactly are you supposed to be?
It's classified.
You're the Blue Panther.
No.
The caped blue satyr? Dark Garfield, Macho Libre.
No, I'm no. Stop! I'm from another dimension.
You are? Wow. Actually, I'm not confused.
My name is Miguel O'Hara, which is ridiculous because neither of those names go together. I lead an elite strike force dedicated to the security of the multiverse.
Actually, forget it. Can you go to any dimension you want with that watch?
It's much cooler than a watch.
Okay, sensitive. Look, but there's this big flying turkey at the Renaissance I have to bring to justice, so if you don't mind.
It's all right, kid. I'll take it from here.
Okay. Knock yourself out.
Why are you saying it like that?
Bam! Vulture wrecking balls Miguel from behind.
That's why.
You're not funny.
I don't know.
Been really fun cleaning up your shocking mess, by the way.
What mess?
Kingpin's colander.
What are you guys talking about?
You shut up, Kalate.
None of your business, nosy. We saved the multiverse.
You left a hole wide enough for guys like him to randomly shoot in the wrong direction. Now I'm stuck putting everybody back where they belong before all of time and space collapses. And don't even get me started on Doctor Strange and that little nerd back on Earth, 199999. 9.
Who's Doctor Strange? Sounds like he maybe shouldn't practice medicine.
The Vulture laughs maniacally as he releases hundreds of Da Vinci-styled wooden drones.
So, you want me to handle this, or...?
Miguel masterfully destroys the drones in one awesome swoop.
Ay, por Dios. He got hammer space. Lila, can you please,
Lila, Miguel's AI hologram assistant, appears.
call for backup.
End scene.
Yay.
Wow, you get a back-to-back scene, don't you?
Sure do.
This is scene number 2. This is Wish with Dani as Asha as Chise, me as Valentino, the adorable little goat, and Larry, who I'm gonna tag out with, he's gonna be King Magnifico for this scene.
He's doing what to you?
We're tagging out.
It's a showbiz term.
I see. Okay. Maybe for the WWE.
A wishing star has fallen out of the sky and causes havoc over the city of Rosas. Asha, a village girl, and her pet goat Valentino have been touched by the star's magic.
What are you doing? Valentino, don't eat that.
It didn't work. When does the magic happen? I'm talking. Who knew my voice would be this low?
Oh, you're switching out, literally. Okay.
Hi.
Imagine a place where wishes come true, where your heart's desire can become a reality. What if I told you this place is within reach? All you have to do is give your wish to me.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, it's going on. Okay. You're here. You've certainly got my attention. So, go ahead. Tell me why you think you should be my apprentice.
Okay, well, I care too much.
Okay. That's interesting.
It's my weakness. Figured I might as well get through all the bad stuff right up front.
Fair enough. And your strengths?
Glad you asked. I'm a quick learner and a hard worker, and I help well. And I'm young, so I'm malleable, but not too young so that I'm too malleable. Oh, and I like to draw.
Is this anything? What am I looking at?
It's a goat.
It's hopping. Certainly.
See? Oh, again.
It's hopping. That's a unique talent. Do we call that a talent?
Oh, well, it's just something my father taught me.
I remember your father.
Really?
He was a philosopher, wasn't he?
Always talking about the stars. We used to climb to that tree at the high ridge where it becomes just you and the stars. You know, he'd say, the stars are there to guide us, to inspire us, to remind us to believe in possibility. Well, even when he was sick, he'd take me out at night to dream. All I dreamed about was him getting better.
How old were you when he passed?
12.
That's not fair, is it? When I was young, I too suffered great loss.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
My entire family, our lands were destroyed by selfish, greedy thieves. If only I'd known magic then. You see, I founded this kingdom so there would be a place where everyone is safe, Asha. No one should ever have to see their dreams destroyed before their eyes. No one should have to live their life feeling the pain of that loss every day. And that is why I do what I do.
And that's why I want to work for you.
Oh, that's you.
Oh, that's you.
Come with me. You're one of the very few I have ever invited in here. But if I am to trust you, I need you to understand just how important they are.
They?
The wishes of Rosas. You can feel them already, can't you?
Sorry. I inhaled too much. Oh. They are everything. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that.
No, that's it. They are everything.
I didn't expect them to be so alive.
Yes, you see, people think wishes are just ideas. But no. They are a part of your heart.
The very best part.
You know, Asha, I would love to see someone wish to be the best apprentice a mighty sorcerer has ever had. What do you say, Asha?
It's my Saba Sabino's wish. It's his birthday today, and he's 100 years old.
That's impressive.
Your Majesty, would you maybe consider granting his wish tonight?
Well, that was fast, wasn't it? You know, most people wait a few months, even a year, before they start asking me for things.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Here, let me see the wish. Oh, it's a beautiful wish. Beautiful. But unfortunately, it's too dangerous.
Dangerous?
Your Saba longs to create something to inspire the next generation. Great wish, but too vague.
Create what?
A rebellious mob, perhaps.
To inspire them to do what?
Destroy Rojas, maybe? Rosas?
My Saba would never do anything to hurt anyone.
You think that? I know that. Well, you're young. You don't know anything, really. Whereas it's my responsibility to only grant the wishes I am sure are good for Rosas.
So most of these wishes will never be granted?
Yet I still protect them like all the others.
Well, can't you just give them back instead?
Excuse me?
The wishes you're not going to grant, you could just give them back. Then, I don't know, the people can try to pursue them themselves? You know, if they're dangerous, they can be stopped, but if they're not...
You've completely missed the point. People come here because they know they can't make their own dreams come true. The journey's too hard. It's too unfair. They give their wishes to me willingly, and I make so they forget their worries.
You make it so they forget the most beautiful part of themselves. And they don't know what they're missing, but you do. And now I do. It's not fair. My Saba is good. The people of Rosas are good. They deserve more than that.
I decide what everyone deserves.
And scene.
I just want to say one thing in my own defense here. These guys are all professional voice actors. My main job is I get paid to not talk. So please, thank you. And it was a pleasure working with you all.
That was amazing. He knocked off the drapery.
Acting.
Acting.
That should be an expression if you're really good in a show. You knocked off the drapery. You're that good.
Elegance.
Oh, elegance.
All right, reading number 3. It's going to be Ellyn reading some lines from the Barbie movie.
It is. There we go. All right. Thank you, thank you. Can you hear me?
What?
Good. Shut up.
I heard that.
It is literally impossible to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like we always have to be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can ask for money because that's crass. Page turn. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. You have to be a career woman, but also always be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's bad behavior. which is insane, but you point that out, and you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women, because you're supposed to be a part of the sisterhood, but always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged. So find a way to acknowledge, but always be grateful. You have to never get old. Never be rude. Never show off. Never be selfish. Never fall down. Never fall. Never show fear. Never get out of line. It's too hard. It's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is always your fault. You're not in this scene. I'm just so tired of watching myself and every other single woman tie herself into knots so that people will like us. And if all of that is also true for a doll just representing a woman, then I don't know. By giving voice to the cognitive dissonance required to be a woman under the patriarchy, you robbed it of its power.
And scene. That was Ellyn playing Gloria as Masaki from Bleach, and Ellyn playing Barbie as Okamoto.
As one does.
Number 4, we have Better Call Saul with Kirk and Richard. Richard is playing Jimmy as Batou. Batou. Kirk is playing Chuck as Igor from Persona 3 Reload. All right, scene 1. Two brothers, Jimmy and Chuck, are working on building a law firm together and have just taken on a very large and important class action case. They meet up at Chuck's house to discuss the latest updates. Chuck has a large box of paperwork that has just been delivered, while Jimmy was fighting a potential restraining order from the company they're working to sue. Chuck then proceeds to try to convince Jimmy that they may need some help from a bigger firm, the firm Chuck works for as a lawyer, and the firm Jimmy works for in the mailroom for this case.
What the hell's all this?
There was a delivery while you were in court.
Schweiark and Coakley sent this. What is it?
The served interrogatories on each class representative. This box is deposition notices, documents calling into question the mental health of our elderly clients, attempting to stop the class from being certified on the grounds they're not competent. Oh, this is just the beginning. They're going to continue this document dump until we're drowning in paperwork.
All right, we can deal with this. I mean, hey, it's just paperwork, right? It's no big deal. Just hit it on the head.
Jimmy, prioritize. The most important stuff first. Or is it better to deal with the easy stuff? You know, get that off the decks.
You tell me, Chuck. You just point to a box. We can do this.
Jimmy, we need to talk.
Chuck?
Sit down, won't
I'm
you?
good.
I know you're not gonna like what I have to say next, but facts are facts. And what we're facing here, a class this size, it's not a two-man job. We need help.
No.
And for the good of the clients, we need to refer the case.
Don't say it.
Refer the case out to the Velvet Room.
Damn it, Chuck. No. Come on. We can do this. We're doing great on our own. We don't need Hamlin or anyone else. I mean, hey, we can Aaron Bronkovich the heck out of this case. Or Brockovich, whatever the fuck. Oh. Whatever the hell her name is.
I'm not going to repeat that. But Erin Brockovich didn't do it alone. She and Ed Massey brought in heavy hitters from Los Angeles to get that case across the goal line. And that's what we need to do. And there's no shame in that.
This is our case.
Yes, it's ours. And the task ahead is monumental.
Could we do it alone?
Could two men alone build the Brooklyn Bridge? Maybe, but it would take forever.
And just how long do you think the residents of Sandpiper Crossing have?
Referring this case to HHM is good for the clients. That argument you won today against the restraining order, the judge was never gonna grant that. Schweikart is throwing softballs, and he's gonna keep throwing them over and over. We'll be busy swatting them away. We'll never spend time on the actual case. This case will span years, and we don't have the capital to carry it forward by ourselves. We simply don't.
Fine.
So, the case goes to HHM?
Hail, Satan, I submit to the dark side, because darkness is the heart's true essence.
And scene. That'd be a really good clip for your outtakes panel, Richard.
What do you say?
It'd be a good clip for your outtakes.
Oh, yeah.
Reading number 5, The Simpsons steamed ham scene. Always a fan favorite. It's going to be with Ellyn and myself.
Wait a minute, Ellen's reading the part of the ham?
No, Ellyn is playing the part of Skinner as Agatha from Pokemon.
Okay.
Go, Jinga!
And I'm going to be playing Superintendent Chalmers. We've got one other small part. Did you want to do Skinner's mom, Agnes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Got 2 lines at the end.
Oh, all right.
Just whatever you feel like doing for that role. All right.
3 weeks later.
Superintendent Chalmers arrives at Principal Skinner's house for dinner. As Skinner tries to win him over with a home-cooked meal, a home-cooked roast, things naturally don't go as planned for our poor principal, and he struggles through the evening and attempts to make everything look fine. Well, Seymour, I made it despite your directions.
Ah, Superintendent Chalmers, welcome. I hope you're prepared for an unforgettable luncheon.
Yeah. Skinner.
Oh, egads, my roast is ruined. But what if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own cooking? Ah. Seymour?
Oh, that's my line. Seymour! Skinner freezes in the window, caught in the act, then tries to cover it that he was sneaking out.
Oh, there we are. Superintendent, I was just stretching my calves on the windowsill. Isometric exercise. Care to join me?
Why is there smoke coming out of your oven, Seymour?
That isn't smoke. It's steam. Steam from the steam clams that we're having. Steam clams.
Once Chalmers leaves the kitchen, Skinner breathes a sigh of relief climbs out of the window, and runs across the street to Krusty Burger, where he buys hamburgers and french fries to replace his burnt roast. He enters the dining room with the fast food on a silver tray.
Superintendent, I hope you're ready for mouth-watering hamburgers.
I thought we were having steamed clams.
Oh, no, I said steamed hams. That's what I call hamburgers.
You call hamburgers steamed hams?
Yeah, it's a regional dialect.
Uh-huh. What region?
Upstate, New York.
Really? Well, I'm from Utica, and I've never heard anyone use the phrase steamed hams.
Oh, not in Utica. It's Albany. Albany expression.
I see. Chalmers takes a bite out of the burger, chews a little while Skinner sips his drink. You know, these hamburgers are quite similar to the ones they have at Krusty Burger.
Oh, patented Skinner burgers. Old family recipe.
For steamed hams.
Yes.
Yes, and you call them steamed hams despite the fact that they are obviously grilled.
You know, the one thing I should... Excuse me for a second.
Of course. Skinner enters and leaves the kitchen swiftly upon seeing that it is now on fire.
Oh, well, that was wonderful. Oh, a good time had by all. I'm pooped.
Yes, I should be. Good Lord, what is happening in there?
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely in your kitchen.
Yes.
May I see it?
No.
Seymour, the house is on fire!
No, Mother. Mother, it's just the northern lights.
Well, Seymour, you're an odd fella, but I must say, you steam a good ham.
Help! Help!
Scene.
And scene.
Really? Agatha as Skinner? Really?
How drunk were you when you assigned these characters?
That was, no comment. And now, for our last segment, this is going to be epic, guys. We present Bedtime Stories with Kirk and David. We are going to start with Kirk as Shadow the Hedgehog reading to you Where the Wild Things Are.
It's a beautiful day, neighbors. That's not Shadow's voice. Where the Wild Things Are, by Maurice Sendak. The night. Where is Shadow? There he is. You get up here. The night Shadow wore. No, Max. The night. We're going to get this going here. The night Max wore his suit and made mischief of one kind. This isn't going to be easy. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew. Until his ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. And in weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws, till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened, and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the rumpus start. Oh, there's no words on that page. Even more, there's no words on the next page. Or the next. Finally, more words. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed. That rhymed. Without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Who do you think? Then all around from far across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please, don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." More rhymes. And Max said, "No, more rhymes." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye, and sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot.
That guy was famous for writing that book.
It's a good children's book, huh?
Is it?
I like
Coming
the way
up
there's like
next.
47 illustrated pages in there.
The Very Hungry Caterpillar with David as Grodd.
Yes.
The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carl. Carl? Probably. For my sister, Krista. There's no words on this page. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. How dare it? One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up, and pop! Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar with a very happy sun looking on. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through an apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, and he was still hungry. I've made the book all wet with my spit. Let's continue. More spit, excuse me. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, but he was still hungry. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. On Saturday, look at all this food. He ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. That night, he had a stomach ache. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf, and after that, he felt better. Look at all the holes in this leaf. There's more spit, excuse me. It's a very nice book. I don't want to ruin it. Now, he wasn't hungry anymore. He wasn't a little caterpillar anymore either. Now he's a big, fat caterpillar. He built a small house called a cocoon around himself. He stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. Then he nibbled a hole in the cocoon, pushed his way out, and he was a beautiful butterfly. Yay. $10.99 in Canada, $14.99 in USA.
Now, could you do it again and be a little deeper this time?
Yes, I
Yeah, of course he could.
the very hungry caterpillar.
One more round of applause for David, everybody.
I can't believe what passes for literature these days.
I grew up with that book. That was so good.
I just ruined it for you forever, didn't I?
Actually, you made it better.
You made it better.
Oh, there you go.
Well, imagine that in my childhood now, just that voice reading it to me.
Spit
Scary.
and all.
Spin it all.
You should do like, some recordings of that for kids and scare the hell out of them.
It'll be good.
I don't like the hungry caterpillar.
You know, it's funny though, getting into voice acting stuff. You know, our parts are written for our characters. This is not written for Cry. He ended up having kind of a British accent in the end. So what next, Mr.
All right.
MC?
Well, this is the part of the panel where the audience gets involved. It's time for Q&A.
Yay!
See, we have a microphone up there?
We have a microphone over there to the right. If you guys would like to ask a question to the panel, go ahead and line up right over here, and we'll get started.
Should I play some, like, Price is Right music?
Did I not say that those readings would be epic? Those were amazing, weren't they?
You're doing the bass line.
All right.
Check, check. Can we get a little louder on this one?
Okay. I think we're good. I'm just going to talk real good. This is my first time actually being first in line, so I don't have to like move it down. It's amazing.
Move him down. Move him down. I want to see that. Okay, now, go ahead.
My question is, I try to ask this every like voice actors panel, is throughout your like whole career, out of all characters, what is the character that has the highest voice you've ever done and the lowest voice? If you tend to work like just in the same register, what would you say is the most unique voice you've done, if that doesn't really apply?
Oh, gosh.
Am I first?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Let's see. The highest voice would be Tsunomon from Digimon, who is the form before you get to Gabumon. So he would be the highest. The lowest would have to be, I did a dragon in Skyrim. So yeah, they wanted me to get as deep as I could go for that guy. And was there a third part to the question?
There was, but I don't remember exactly. What was the third part to your question?
It was if like the high-low didn't really apply life you worked in the same register, what is the most unique voice you've done? And I kind of ask this question like if you want to demonstrate like your range.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Do you want to demonstrate yours?
Oh, I don't know. The highest voice I've done is not much higher than my lowest voice. No, I think years ago I did a lot higher voices, but now I'd sound like the father of all those characters. So, see, I had a little incident a while back. I did a video game and I lost my voice for 6 months. And after those 6 months, I was lower and gravelier, which was just as marketable, so I wasn't too upset. But nothing high happens anymore.
You were originally a soprano, weren't you?
I was a desk hand. Well, you're actually true. Before I went through puberty,
Yeah.
I was.
Which was last week, I think.
When I was 18, yes.
Uh,
The very hungry caterpillar.
Yes. I think the highest voice I did was Mr. Noisy. He's way up here. And then lowest, I don't know. I've done a lot of low voices. It's funny. You get into the booth sometime, they go lower, 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 and you're like, "Boo." I have to call David in to come help me out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. But and then what was the other part of the question?
Unique.
Oh, unique.
Yeah. Most unique voice you've done.
They're all unique. They're all my little children. I love them equally. You know, it's hard. I've done over 1,200 characters. It's kind of hard to remember all the different ins and
I
outs.
just added that in case like anyone tended to work just like in the same register, didn't really have a lot of like higher or lower voices.
Yeah, no, you do different. You know, it depends on the character,
Yeah.
really, and you just jump in and you do it. So you know. What about you?
Years ago, we did a show called The Little Punk, and I did all the female voices in it, and that's my jam. You know, being able to be a Swiss Army knife and doing 100 different voices.
But anyhow, I did little girl voices, and I was all the way up here.
And, I mean, I can still do those voices, but I don't get called for those. Nobody wants me for those. I know. It's very sad. It's a long story.
It's a wrong story, is what it is.
I've done lots of mothers, but I don't. My voices don't go as deep as yours, David.
No?
Nobody's does.
Let's see. How deep can you go?
Hey, let's do singing. Hey.
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 Oh my God. That's really good.
I think my testicles vibrated on the last one.
But I do a lot of like.
My hands are above the table.
Let me see. Ghost in the Shell, Haraway, she was low. Martha Vest Carbine in Gundam Unicorn, she was low. I get a lot of low voices. Unique? I don't know.
All
My
of them.
next voice.
All of them.
All of them, yes.
I'll let you know.
My little girl voices and boy voices are my bread and butter. So the highest one is probably Princess Manchuri from One Piece, where she's this tiny little fairy thing. If you've seen that, if you even caught up to that episode, 690 something or whatever. She's really small, so we had to make her kind of tiny voice, but not, you know, the annoying tiny voice. So I had to make her breathy, and she only wants to heal people. So that's probably about the highest I've got so far.
That's adorable.
Yeah. I can't really do low voices. The lowest I got is probably Caramel Arrow Cookie from Cookie Run Kingdom. And that's just my voice being loud. So other than that, that's it. But yeah, thank you for your question.
It's always amazing how some of the actresses can do like boy voices, because I'm like, you know, like you got Arlen, I'm just like, where does that come from? You know, it's like, where do these voices come from? You know, you just don't expect, you know, that.
They come from hell!
The deepest evil
depths of my soul.
Hi.
Hi.
So I wanted to ask this because I know that a lot of your roles sound like very vocally taxing, especially like the lower roles. So I wanted to ask if you guys have any routines or regimens for taking care of your vocal cords before or after recording, and what those are, if you have them.
Kirk? What is your regime, sir?
I mean, just nothing after. I mean, before, just do some vocal warm-ups that I learned in acting school and studying voice and speech. It doesn't take a lot to get warmed up, but that and singing to the radio on the drive-in, on the drive to the session, that to warm up that. As far as warming down, when your vocal cords are fried, just hot tea, And they've got this stuff, Nimjam, which we call Fred juice.
Fred Tatasciore.
Yeah. After a session, it's called Nimjam something. Is it Korean or is it Japanese?
Chinese.
It's Chinese. Yeah.
Chinese.
And it's this goop that you just.
Loquat syrup and honey.
Yeah.
No
Anyway.
narcotic or anything like that.
Yeah. No.
I was getting a lot of that in spoons and into my mouth last week when I had some vocal fatigue. That's great stuff. Water is huge. You have to hydrate. And during the session, something people don't talk about, we're only human, but our characters are not human. So sometimes it's good to actually ask. Say, look, I can only do so much. Limit this to an hour, to 2 hours. When I did the movie Bumblebee at the beginning, my character ripped his throat out. And there was this line, did you think you could hide? Which I almost never do in public because even one performance of it could hurt my voice. We did 15 takes, and then I had to go home. That's all that we could, and they knew that. That's all they could do that day. Because when you have an IMAX screen in front of you and you have to be this big, you tend to push it a little too hard. And rest, vocal rest. Some days I don't talk at all. Texting is my friend.
Yeah, all that stuff that they said is true. I think it's good to do vocal warm-ups before you go in the booth. I think it's really important to drink, hydrate, and hot tea if you can do it. Hot tea with honey is good. You're right about this. You have to protect yourself too, because they'll just push you till you die. They don't care. So you have to look at your voice as an instrument and protect yourself. And you feel like you're getting too run down or something, you say, either say, can we take a break, or I have to go to the bathroom, or whatever you have to say to get out of there to rest your voice for a little bit. You just have to really be careful and watch yourself. If your voice is really trashed after a session, I always recommend gargling with warm salt water. That always helps at night and then in the morning when you wake up, and it just really helps a lot. But this Chinese cough syrup is really, really good stuff. And Fred Tatasciore turned me on to it too, and it just basically coats your throat, and you can do a lot more screaming. The other thing too is a lot of people don't realize is you need to keep your throat relaxed. Because when you tighten up your throat when you scream, because we do a lot of screaming in some of these games like Call of Duty or whatever, you're just screaming your butt off for 4 hours. You just have to really relax your throat and do it with your throat relaxed. Otherwise, when you clench your throat, that's when you hurt yourself.
Don't ever use chloroseptic or any of that stuff that numbs, because you want to be aware of what you're doing to yourself.
Yeah, or heroin. Don't ever do that.
Not in this state, maybe in another state.
Damn, that was what I was using.
It's
That
legal in
explains a
California.
lot.
No, Ellyn, you're supposed to be the heroine of the show.
Oh, damn, I got that wrong.
She's a method actress.
What Richard was saying, and everybody was saying, we all do that. What Richard was saying about relaxing your throat, like Agatha, she is a scratcher of the throat that I was doing for this character, so opposed to Skinner. I mean, it was just, he's just so calm and mild, and she's just, like that. Well, anyhow, that really ratchets your throat. And if you don't relax your throat, then it will tear your throat up. But my throat was relaxed, and I haven't even had a sip of water since doing that. I know how to
years,
relax
hasn't
it. What?
It's been years, hasn't it?
Years.
you haven't had a sip of
Years.
water.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. My doctor
You're gonna be
keeps
dehydrated.
recommending.
No, there's vodka in there. She's okay.
Another game that I've been doing this over and over for the last couple of years is Street Fighter 6. And that is really screaming all the time. And water, water, water. I'll go in for like a 4-hour session. I'll go through tons of bottles of water in there. And that's the only way to keep your throat moist and hydrated and everything else that everybody else says. And I think I will start playing the heroines and stop the heroin. Nobody told me.
Let's go back to that blue light. That was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Was that a warning or some sort?
No, we're still doing great on time.
Oh, okay.
Like intermission. Pretty much everything that they said. Honestly, that was great. Yeah, because I do a lot of boy voices. So just like Ellyn said, you have to relax your throat. So I drink room temperature water.
Always.
I like to hum too before I get in the session. And then after the session, I try not to talk or laugh as much. Make sure I get home, drinks, gargling the salt water helps a lot. And then just drinking some tea or just hot water with lemon. That's a really good one. That helps soothe the throat. But yeah, that's pretty much everything they said, and then just doing the safe stuff.
And one last tip before we go. This is an important subject you bring up. When you're auditioning for things, if you're a voice actor, you have to do a voice that you can maintain. If you go screamy crazy that you can't do in a session, don't do it in the audition, because then they will expect you to do that week after week after week.
And one other thing, and it's a real simple one. And a director told me during the middle of a session, breathe. Seriously. Because you do something like a Call of Duty where you're going, contact right window, contact left window, and it's like, no, stop and breathe. And that will relax the whole instrument. Otherwise, you just get too, go, 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 go. Yeah.
Kirk used to pass out a lot in the booth, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I was wondering if any of you have a favorite line that you have done out of all the characters you have done over the years.
Start at the other end this time.
My favorite line was, Seymour!
Dang it, Kirk, why'd you do that?
You know
I had to
why.
go through my Rolodex.
I bought you a second.
One of my recent favorite ones is in Honkai Star Rail. I voice Ellyn in that one, and he's the head of security. Well, he's a teenage boy, first of all. That's weird. So he's head of security, and he's talking to Lady Asta, his boss, and she gave him permission to kind of like use the money to funds and whatever, stuff like that business. And Lady Asta is yelling at him, like, who gave you the right to deal with my money? And he looks at her like, you did! And just to be able to say that to Felicia Angel was really funny. So probably that line from that game.
There was a show that we did years ago called Knowin'. And anybody know it? Few people do.
I have outtakes of it tonight at 7 o'clock.
Anyhow, I played this boy's mother, Miyaki Goto, and her son's name was Yu, Y-U. My favorite line, I swear this was scripted. I had to call out to him in the yard, "You, where are you?"
That's really funny. That's cute.
Two lines come to mind. There's one is Batou where he goes, "You don't even remember your own name, you stupid dickhead." I love that line. And then the other one was from the Joker where he goes, "Why does she hate pancakes?"
I have two favorite lines. The first one can't be said in public, but I negotiated my way out of it. It was an interesting line. And the second line was from a show I did called RoboCop Alpha Commando in the 90s, which very few people saw. It was a comedic version of RoboCop. And there was a scene in a department store where people were rummaging through deals for Christmas. And RoboCop comes in and he says, "Calm yourselves. Christmas is a time of joy and giving."
That's a good one.
That was a good line.
That's good. They get over it, creep.
Yes.
I'm coming up blank. God. The problem is I can't remember the exact words. But I think it would have to be one of Kisame's lines talking to Might Guy. I think it was something like, he says something to me and I say back to him, and it's not that good, just, "Mighty stupid looking guy." Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I loved the banter between those two because they constantly got on each other. It's hard to pick favorite lines.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is, it's like out of all the characters you've voiced, it's like what has been the funniest moment that you've had in the booth?
This isn't an 18 or over panel.
No, it's not.
Is there something you want to tell me, honey?
All right, I'll go.
We're gonna continue.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of moments, but this one moment, I was directing, and it was a warm day, and apparently the air conditioning was off in the studio. And I went in, and there was another guy who was working right before I was coming in. He was stripped down to nothing.
His initials are Michael Sorge.
It's true. Well, of course, you know. And I said, "Oh my God," I was embarrassed to go in and even say, "Can you put your clothes on?" So I went to the studio head, Mariana, and I said, "Mariana, Michael's not wearing any clothes." She goes, "Oh no, what are we going to do?" But anyhow, eventually his time ran out on the session, and so I entered and didn't have to deal with it.
That was your favorite. Did you ask for favorite moments?
Like funniest.
Oh, funny moments. Oh, okay, funny moments. All right.
They both start with an F, honey. I know it's hard to distinguish.
The only one, because you brought up crazy Michael Sorge, I had another thing. We did a little Wallace session, and we were stuck in a little tiny booth. There was 3 of us, and I've nicknamed, Michael has a gas problem.
Oh, no.
And
There's always a Michael
I've nicknamed
story.
him Gaseous Clay. That's my nickname for him. And he's in the booth, and he's letting him rip, and I'm with the booth with this Cy Prescott. You remember Cy?
Yeah.
So he's in there every time Mike farts. Cy laughs like a hyena, and we're trying to get this done, right? And so I come out afterwards, after all this happened, and the client says, "Oh, you're in there with the gas man and the village idiot." It was brutal, I gotta tell you, just brutal.
You go.
I go, okay. The classic Frank Welker crickets. If you work with Frank Welker, who's been in the business for decades and decades and decades, he has some fun with you sometimes. He's so good at doing creature sounds. He does a cricket sound, and you think it's a cricket somewhere. You don't know it's him. He just looks around like,
Where's the cricket?
yeah, it's fun. And working with him and Peter Cullen, the banter they have together. It's like stand-up comedy the whole time you're there.
So, how bad is profanity here? Is it out of bounds?
It's a family.
Okay.
Fuck if I know.
G-rated show, right?
Okay.
PG-13.
I think it's PG-13.
Okay. Well.
I'm afraid to say because someone is going to have a talking with me afterwards and being like, Brandon, no, it's PG.
Okay. Well, I was in the booth once with
Michael
Richard,
Surich.
and of course Michael Surich, and the late great Bob Pappenbrook, who was just ridiculously funny.
Bryce Pappenbrook's dad.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it was a show called Eagle Riders, and we were in at Saban, and they said, guys, they're bringing by some heavy hitters from Fox today, so I want you to be on your best behavior. And so Richard's up at the mic. We're doing bits in Walla, and Richard's doing a bit, and so just as Richard's about to talk, the door opens and in come the Saban the Fox executives, and just as Richard opens his mouth, Bob's been in the back telling a story, and just as they walk in, Bob lets out, and there's a great big nose fuck. and Richard kind of looks over like, it wasn't me.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, I do, because your face was just like,
That's hilarious.
Bob.
Yeah. He was something else.
Yeah, he was a wonderful, wonderful man.
The funny line I was going to say is now sounding very tame, but I'm still not going to say it.
I think probably one of my
There went
funniest
PG-13, by the way.
favorite moments was, has anybody seen Ace Attorney, the anime? Okay, I voiced Dahlia Hawthorne in that one. And she's a bad guy, I'll say that. And we were doing bloopers with the director. And if anybody who knows Eric Vale, he voiced Phoenix Wright. He is a blooper king, as we like to call him. He would leave like what we call bombs for other actors. So I was determined to get him. And in one of my lines, it's like, am I wrong, defense attorney? That was the original line. And me and the director came up with, am I wrong, farting butthole? And it got him. And I was so excited.
Did he laugh?
Yes. Oh, yeah. He laughed. He was like, ha, damn it. And those bloopers are on YouTube, by the way. So if you want to check those out, Ace Attorney bloopers.
I love when you do the blooper and then the actor doesn't miss a beat and just comes in with something else and just they just improvise off each other. It's just I love that stuff.
That was very.
And there's some of that tonight at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. I like your hair.
So I've been doing voice impressions for around 9 years, and I wanted to ask you guys for some pro tips on becoming a voice actor. What are the steps? What are some things you would, recommend on getting into that kind of line of field of work?
It's about acting and not really all that much about the voice. That's a very important part of it, but to me that's the icing on the cake. Tell the story, stay in the moment, and do bigger than life things. It's much easier for a director to make your performance smaller than bigger. Improv classes, live theater really helps. And just learn about the acting part of it. It's important.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would say send me a check for $1,000.
Come on,
And
man.
you reveal all the secrets.
Yes, I won't tell you anything, but just send me a check for $1,000. No, everything David said is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he said. It's all about the craft.
Yeah.
Take
Be an
acting
actor.
classes.
Yeah, be an actor first.
Really learn the craft because we're actors first.
It's called voice acting, but it should really be called actor voice because you really should be a good actor before you do voice acting.
Yeah.
And you're limited to you're telling a story. When you're on camera or you're on stage, you have your whole physicality and your eyes and everything to express yourself. When you're voice acting, you're just using your voice. That's it. So you really have to make that come alive and bring that stuff off the page. And the other thing a lot of people don't realize is that we go into the booth, a lot of times we don't see the scripts until we're in the booth. So you have to basically cold read a performance.
Like today.
Yeah, like today. And you just have to bring that to life and make it sound like you're not reading, like you're just making it, come to life. So people who want to be voice actors but maybe aren't great at reading, I would recommend reading out loud every day so you get that skill set, So when you go in the booth, you can read it and bring it alive.
And I have one other thing to say. People will come in, even people who know better. Their energy doesn't last throughout the sentence. They'll drop the sentence at the end. Be sure to sustain the energy on whatever you're saying all the way to the end. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to go home and then I'm going to lie down. People do that all the time.
But again, that's acting. You learn that in class.
Make it a live action performance in your mind. You can see everyone who's there. You have to see the eyes of the person you're talking to, or it just sounds like you're reading.
And then send a check to me for $1,000.
He's not kidding.
It's the Richard Epcar voice acting workshop.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
My question's pretty simple. I was wondering what your favorite video game or movie that you played, worked on, or watched. For the sake of Kirk being here, my favorite game is Shadow the Hedgehog, and my favorite movie will be Sonic 3 featuring Shadow the Hedgehog.
Facts. Facts.
You've got a nice voice, by the way.
Thank you.
You should send me
Thank you.
$1,000.
Sorry, I don't have it on me.
It's okay, we take credit cards.
Probably, I think my favorite video game just in general is Paper Mario for the 64. Yes!
I like Paper Mario.
Me too. Never mind. I'm not
I'm
gonna get in
a
that
Mario
debate.
fan, even though I'm wearing a Goku black shirt.
That's okay. You can be fans of everything. This is cool. It's cool with me. Yeah, Paper Mario, absolutely. I haven't played all of the Fire Emblem games, but just because I'm in Engage, I think it's my favorite so far, just because it's really cute. The plot feels very typical anime, plot if you've played it. But I love the characters. I love how they all have their different personalities. I love how you interact with them. It's just really nice. So probably Fire Emblem Engage recently. Yeah.
My favorite video game is the next one I'll do. I've been doing this for 45 years. I've done a lot of stuff. And I mean...
Name each one of your roles.
Do you know what? This is truth. Every time I go up, I did it this time. I forgot. I said, what have I done? Oh my God, I've done so much. I don't remember. My favorite thing is when Richard and I go to conventions, is to go up with him, because then I turn to him and I go, honey, what have I done? And
I can barely remember what I've done. I got to remember what she's done.
he remembers everything. But I go blank. No, but you remember a lot. You go, and what about, and what about, and what about?
Have to help her along.
He does. He helps me. That's his purpose in life.
I've been doing this so long. Do you know my first video game role was the left paddle in Pong? Just the left one. And Mel Blanc was the right one. Wow. And I went beep, and he went boop, and I went beep, and he went boop. No.
That was you. I never knew that. Wow.
Well, the reason I said that is that my favorite video game goes all the way back to that time. I liked Centipede. Did anybody still play Centipede?
Yeah.
5 people, yay.
I played. I was the ball in Pong.
Oh, you're the ball.
I was the ball. Yeah.
They never told us who did that. It was it was non-union, wasn't it? You didn't put your name on it. That's why.
That could be it.
Actually, I do have a game that I was really fond of. I was in it, and I also directed it. And this is going back
Jade Cocoon.
Yes, Jade Cocoon. And it's about women who, in order to live, they're nurturers, and every time they nurture someone, they lose a skin. And when they've nurtured so many people, all their skins are gone, and then they die.
Oh my God.
And I
It's a
wept.
comedy.
I wept while I was doing that. But did anybody ever see, you're too young, Jade Cocoon? Yeah?
Yeah, a few people.
Yeah.
I was
Isn't
in
it a
that
good,
too.
isn't it a good one?
Yeah. I love that one. I was really young when you guys are old farts. Okay. Two of my favorite characters are in Mortal Kombat, Raiden and the Joker. I just love both those guys. They're really like yin and yang, and Raiden. I love Raiden because he's such an honorable, noble character, and the Joker is just a despicable pile of poo. So it's like it's really kind of a nice dichotomy between the two characters. It's really, really fun. I really love when I have scenes where I talk to myself, and I'm talking with characters. That's really
He
kind of
does
fun.
that a lot.
Yes.
Talk
But that's
to
fun.
himself.
It's really fun.
I'm not a gamer, so I don't play, but The Last of Us, Part 2, the second one, only because they challenged us to do things that I had never had to do before in the booth. Like, okay, now you've got a knife stuck in your throat, and you're calling out through the gurgling blood in your throat, and they were just so incredibly specific about each way we felt pain, and there were just hundreds and hundreds of ways that we felt pain in that game. They just made it incredibly challenging, and that's my favorite thing as an actor is when I'm challenged, make me do something I've never done before.
And you became a masochist after that, didn't you?
Yeah, but so that's why I like that one.
That's a good one. I love specific direction.
Did you
like
say
that.
yours aside from the...
All right, folks, this is going to be our last question. We only have time for one more, but before we give you the last question, just wanted to remind everybody, we'll all be floor 4, Conestoga room this afternoon
come
for
see us.
autographs.
Be there all
Please come
afternoon.
see us. Come say hi. And
May I do a shameless plug?
absolutely.
3 o'clock, my Women in Anime panel is, please come by.
Hi, so for context, I'm a fledgling voice actor myself. I have a reasonably professional set of equipment, a reasonably soundproof space. Turns out Reaper runs on a Steam Deck, so that's a fun fact. But I'm pretty sure my mouth noises are costing me auditions. I can hardly even listen to my own takes because it's just a misophonic nightmare. So any advice on keeping those under control?
Green apples.
Green apples. All right.
It is some sort of magic that we don't really understand. And not red apples. If you chew on green apples, those mouth noises go away.
Any specific cultivar?
Granny Smith.
Granny Smith, okay.
What also
The
helps?
tartar, the better.
Yeah.
What also helps me is chapstick for me.
Really?
Yeah, like
On
Burt's
your
Bees.
tongue?
For the lip.
No, on my lips. I just put chapstick on the corners of your mouth. That helps me personally.
Really?
Gargle with WD-40.
No.
That's a really good.
Hey, I was a
no.
machinist once.
No,
I have
don't do that.
access.
Staff and management of Zenkaikon do not
not-
condone that.
But no. But there are tricks too when you record yourself. Are you recording to Pro Tools?
He said,
Recording with Reaper.
Okay. Well, when there's tricks that engineers know how to get rid of breaths and little smacks and that sort of thing. So, the more adept you are at controlling your recording, the more stuff you can remove from your recording. Because everybody makes noises, everybody makes smacks, everybody breathes, everybody has odd stuff. So, and the reason you don't hear it is because the engineers are so good and they remove a lot of that stuff. So, everybody's going to have that situation. But the Apple thing really helps a lot.
Some of the programs have plugins that erase it all for you.
Yeah.
it's magic.
Yeah.
So amazing.
One trick sometimes I'll give actors if they're really being smacky for me is as I take a sip of water, because the engineer says, tell them to take a sip of water.
Yeah.
And then after the water, go like that to get.
Just gonna suck on my teeth?
Well, yeah. You just inhale sharply to get the residual water out of your mouth, and then your mouth has been moistened by the water, but you don't have any excess left in there. And if you're really finding a spot that you're clicking bad, try that.
Thank you. And this is the last question, so I'm just going to say I hope you're enjoying Lancaster as much as I do.
Yeah,
We are.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Good question.
Thanks, everybody.
But any more plugs before we go? Anybody, if you want to plug what you're doing today?
Oh, I got a Spy Family panel today at 4:30. Come by and say hi, and we can talk about Spy Family or talk about other stuff that you want to talk about. I don't know. We'll talk about stuff. Yay!
Yes, would you please?
Just come see us on the 4th floor if you'd like to say hi.
Yes.
We're kind
and
of
we're all
isolated
doing
over there.
autographs.
And I have an outtake panel, which is hilarious at 7 o'clock. I don't know where it is. You have to look on your schedule. But come see it. It's really funny. We're doing Loop on the Third. We're doing Bo 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 Bo, and we're doing Noen, and it's some very, very funny stuff. But it's 18 plus, just so you know. It's salty language. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. One more round of applause for our voice actors.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're going to sell autographs.